Yo, you already know it's one half football podcast.
Yo.
It's myself, King Jones, and on the line we got Banj, the Podfather. I'm recording, bro. I'm putting you on.
Yeah. You know how we do.
You know how we do. We haven't recorded in a while, but obviously I thought I'd record. We couldn't get the timelines up, and obviously I didn't know we was busy, so I just thought I'd record and talk. I'm just going to talk about the season so far. Obviously, the Man United game's going on. They can hear you, Podfather, and put you a bit closer so they can hear
you. Reporting live from Old Trafford.
What's the score right now? What's going on? Talk to me about the goal. It's 1-0.
1-1, Demarais Gray looking like the buy of the season.
Was it Gray that scored?
No, but he created the goal. Great pass, linked to Decore. Okay. And Everton have had chances as well. It's not it's against the runner. Yeah, I mean, Man United looking.
I want to know what's going on with Richarlison, because he hasn't. Is he not playing? He hasn't really.
No, I think he's injured.
Okay. But those guys have taken his place. Honestly. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have to.
Very interesting the way he's using Demarais Gray. He's playing him as a second striker.
Oh, okay. So they're wanting to run direct. How's he dribbling?
Behind run. Excellent dribbling. He just looks good, man.
Do you have to compliment the scouts? Because it's not that nobody knows that Townsend doesn't have any ability. What normally is a combination of things that, one, I would argue his numbers have never been high enough, personally, and he's shown little moments of quality, but no one could argue, could he dribble, can he shoot, is he quick, you know what I'm saying? So for them to sign him for Everton, they had to have gone to him, scouted him, and he'd have to really be like, I want this, I want to finish in Europe, for my last years of my career, I want to do something. You know what I'm saying? Because
it's outstanding scouting, just like we all want from all our clubs and stuff. Because for you, basically everything we really looked at and think, we don't really have that much money. We want to buy players, want to get guys in free or guys in free, whatever. So you pick up Townsend and a free. Benitez has worked with him, so that one is more understandable because Benitez has actually worked with him at Newcastle and played well for him, so he believes in his ability. But someone like Gray, who he has no real connection to, and for the team to bring, say, listen, 1.5 million, and Benitez just started him from the beginning, so it's not like,
it wasn't like,
sharp at this guy, or it's not really my signing, bringing him from the bench or whatever. He's like, put him in, playing him in a different position from what he's used to, all of that. Yeah, I mean, giving him more responsibility to show his skill.
What I'm seeing
that's
from
great work from the scouting team.
What I'm seeing from Man United, from Everton, is that one, they've always had a squad because they've been buying heavy in the last 4 or 5 years. But now they look like they've got a squad of almost useful players. So because back in the day, they used to have a big bench, but full of players that they didn't really want in it, Balassi and those guys. But now it seems like we've got a Iwobi on the bench. You know what I'm saying? They've got Richarlison when he comes back. They've got players. They've got Rondon on the bench. Players that they actually respect and they don't mind bringing on. So that's the thing that they have now. Then they've got this is the best manager they've had. Personally, whether he goes on to be, Ancelotti arguably, but I would argue that Premiership-wise, the last 5-6 years, Benitez is probably the better manager than Ancelotti. You'd rather have him in the Premier League than have Ancelotti for this sort of team, especially for a smaller club.
As well, because he can go defensive, he can go attacking.
But he's almost good with his back up against the wall. I would argue if you want a team that has less talent, you go for Benitez. With the more talent, you arguably and better football, you want to go for Ancelotti because big players. But Benitez is almost very comfortable. He's done some of his best work when he wasn't the biggest team in the league, or he was in a big team, but maybe they were on the decline and he was the one that was supposed to keep them up. Like, Liverpool, after Julio goes, they're arguably on the decline. You know what I mean? They're on the decline, they were already going, and he comes in, wins the Champions League, keeps their name up there.
He's very decisive as well, because he basically came in and he just bombed out against Rodriguez, like, you're not playing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even giving you a minute. Yeah, I mean, and the guy eventually just had to bounce,
I want some pace in my team. I want pace,
they're going to fit my system, so my shit's going to be about.
But I think he looks at the squad and there's a lot of players. I think he loves Decore from the beginning. He loves that sort of player. Big guy, strong.
People underestimate that guy 100% should be at. The thing is, he's a very specialist guy because I think you almost have to play like a 4-3-3. To get now, everything I played in 4-4-2 and he's outstanding. But you put him in that Liverpool team, I'm saying.
You know what's crazy? He should be in the conversation with Bissouma. Yeah, not on the same age, not what same. I'm not saying even on the same skill set, but I'm saying they should look at him like, he was a.
Because he can do all the defensive stuff, but then he can also get forward and score goals.
But he's older, that's what I'm saying. But he doesn't get in that conversation. Like, you know how we look at Bissouma, like let's say we looked at the smaller the clubs in the bottom 10, we automatically think, oh, sign him, sign Basuma, sign, you know what I mean, sign Zaha, sign whatever. But no one ever, before Doucouré went, people were like, oh, he's good, I don't mind getting, but nobody said, get him. We need to get Doucouré from Watford, and you know what I mean? And he should have definitely been in that question. Is Alan playing? Alan?
Yeah, he's playing. He's playing. He's holding midfield.
So what do you make of the season so far? Has there been any surprises? I think the top four, apart from Chelsea, obviously because you guys haven't played your game yet, I think the top four is more or less formed in the way I want it to form, or I thought it was going to form, with those guys being in the top four. Everton have surprised me.
I've been surprised with, but it's more the chronology of events. You know what I mean? Because you'd expect Tottenham to be where they are, but then
how
after
they got
that good start, I would have expected them to build on it. You know what I mean? I've been surprised with the last.
Is there argument to say that they were better before Harry came back?
No, not even just that, but like even new manager bounce. Like I rate Nuno. I don't think Nuno is a trash manager. Like I'm saying.
I don't think he's trash, but I don't think he's he wasn't the right manager for what Tottenham wanted to do, if you get what I'm saying. They said it's all about attacking football, possession football, attacking football, you know what I mean? And then they bring in Nuno, who is, though I don't think he's a defensive manager, but he's definitely a counter-attacking manager, and he's definitely not a possession-first manager. Do you know what I mean? So they were all about, it's about possession football, this, that. So I thought they were either going to go for another guy who had won trophies in another league, like, you know, go for the Ajax manager or this, that, someone who has played great football and has won trophies, or they go.
I think they tried,
didn't it? Or they were going to go for a guy that, like, let me give you an example. Arguably, Nuno is better, maybe a better manager than Hasenhüttl, but he suits the way Tottenham want to play more. The way he plays at Southampton with the wingers and the possession, all that, he suits their football. Like, he would be great for them. So I don't understand how they didn't look at Hasenhüttl if you're going to look around the Premier League. I don't know how they didn't look at that sort of manager. There's other managers that suited the way that Tottenham wanted to play. Even arguably he's out the game for a while, but even what's his name that was at Bournemouth suits the way Tottenham wants to play more. And I would argue that Tottenham haven't got big personalities like that in their team anymore. So you don't need a big manager. There's no personalities in that team like that. You need to be like, oh, we need to get a big manager for that guy, or you know what I mean. A lot of them, they're a small knit team. Some good players, some not so good, and you know, that's what I'm saying. So.
Yeah, I think if they can get Harry Kane back to his best, yeah, I mean, then I think that will help.
Where did that push them up the table? Where's your prediction? Let's say Tottenham, Harry Kane's back, Hong-Min does what he's normally doing. The rest of the squad is around about the same. Where are Tottenham as a team, squad for you?
Yeah, I think you have to aim for European places, at least 6 or 7.
So you're aiming for top 6, yeah.
Yeah, because when you look at it, you still have two probably the best strike partnership for combination guys in the Premiership. Yeah, and at the end of the day, that counts for a lot. So, now winning a lot of games in the Premiership, because Premiership is about scoring goals. Yeah, I mean,
let me ask you.
Defensively, but it's more about scoring goals.
Is Harry Kane still the best striker in the league?
I would still say yes. I don't see anybody ahead of him, because right now I think it's all about inside forwards, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, so I say it's between him and. It depends. If you play Ronaldo as a striker, then
what about Lukaku? Is Lukaku there?
I think so. I think it's him, it's Lukaku, is Harry Kane, and Ronaldo. I think
not Vardy, not Aubameyang,
Huh?
Not Vardy, not Aubameyang. Hello?
Vardy dropped last year.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a player he's been. I think he dropped last year. So he's slightly behind him. Aubameyang, one day he's on the wing, one day he's on the striker. That's why I don't put him up with those guys. But if he gets back his form, 100%. Yeah, I mean, like it's almost impossible to. There are like 6 guys that could get golden boots this year. Just impossible to call.
So before I go, I just want to ask you a couple rank managers. So I'm going to do a thing between A and E. Yeah, A means that you think they're quality and you wouldn't mind them managing your club, and E means that you don't really rate them like that and you don't really want them at your club. So I'm going to start with Graham Potter, the Brighton manager.
Yes. So I think he's a good manager. I think he's a bit overstated.
Where would you put him between A and E?
They're looking for like a British superhero manager to come and like, this
Eddie Howe, the next Eddie Howe.
Yeah, for me, where would I put him? What, in the league, you mean? In terms of managers?
No, A&E, yeah. Where would you rank him? Where do you rank? Yeah, within the league, not within Championship, but within.
Yeah, he's not in the top 8 for me.
Not top 8, but you rate him. Okay, let me say top. Let me take that away. Do you rate him? A means you rate him as a top manager. Forget about the league. You just rate him as a top manager. B, a good manager. C, decent to good manager. You know what I mean? D means and E means you don't rate him out.
I rate potential.
Yeah.
So I'd say probably a C.
Mm-hmm.
For me.
Okay. Yeah. We're gonna go on to Mikel Arteta. Is that a difficult one?
Yeah, I put him and Graham Potter in the same boat. Mm-hmm. So I put him a C as well. Potential. We really want to.
Even though he came 8th twice, but he's won an FA Cup.